So I'm William Chrisp. I work for Faithful and Gould. I'm 21 and I'm a trainee surveyor. There's many different types of quantity surveyor and different things you can do with quantity surveying, but a quantity surveyor effectively is just someone that cost manages construction projects and values them. We would work out how much it's going to cost to construct a building with all different types of procurement methods and different materials, and then once we've got to a certain stage of the cost, we'll then manage it through to the construction stage as well. So you can go from all the way from procurement all the way to the final account of the construction building. I left school at the end of sixth form when I was 18, and I left with 10 GCSEs and 3 A levels. There was a few reasons, mainly because I wasn't too sure about what I wanted to do in the future, so I didn't want to really commit to doing something at university and gather all that debt. I had an interest in sort of economics and banking side of things, and I also had an interest in the construction industry, so I thought a perfect match between the two was quantity surveying, as that works on the finances of construction. My teachers' reaction, they were quite happy, because the school I was going to, they pushed the university agenda on all the students and tried to get as many kids to university as possible. So when I said that I wasn't planning on going to university, they were happy, and they did support me with that. And they said they showed me all the options and different websites I can use to find apprenticeships. So they were supportive, and I think they were also meant they could have someone else to use as a case study in the future as well, because a lot of the kids do just go straight to university from my school. It was relatively similar to a normal job application at the start. So I just had to sort of like a letter of application to the company, and then I send my CV in as well, which the letter of application was quite similar to the personal statement that people do for university. And then they obviously went through all the candidates that have done that, and I had a phone call interview with them. Then I went to a workshop in Birmingham with a bunch of candidates that had gone through the phone call interview. And then finally I had a one-on-one interview with my future boss. It was when I first started, it was 15.5, and it's currently after the third year, it's £20,000. I drive just looking on the drive, I drive an Audi A3. Yes, I live at home still. There was a talk of me trying to potentially buy a house in the early days, but I think I didn't want to be sort of anchored down by a house in Nottingham, so I've moved away from that idea. But I'm hopefully looking to move into a flat with my friends, with a friend in the coming months, obviously, hopefully, depending on coronavirus. I suppose I wasn't really sure what to expect, because it was my first sort of office job, so I can't really say I was surprised, but it's been really good quality sort of education, because I've been able to learn from people that have been doing it for 30 years rather than sit in a classroom and watch someone tell me about it. So I've been able to sort of really apply the education to it. It surprised me because everyone's so chilled out as well. I thought it would be far more serious and sort of sat in a cubicle working 8 hours, but it's really flexible, and you can like work in big groups, and when you're doing a project, so there's lots of different ways to collaborate with people, and they really try and push for that F&G actually. So I'd say making sure I was confident in meetings. I wasn't just a fly on the wall. I was getting involved, and sort of I was also just making sure I was giving 100%, and I wasn't just doing a job, even though it was a repetitive job. Like at the start, I was doing a lot of plotting and sort of photocopying and printing, like you'd sort of see in the apprenticeship sort of movies. I was making sure that I was doing them properly and to a good quality, as well as the highs are there's a lot of different networking events that you can go to, and there's a lot of different people to meet from all different backgrounds, which is really good. And there's so many different people as well working in the construction industry. And the lows can sometimes be the hours if you've got a site that's really far away, so you've got to get up early and get on site before anyone else. But I think that's just a part of life. And probably just say, but if you're going to go for it, be confident and enjoy it. And at the end of the day, I think as well, they've got to remember that it's not the be all and end all. So if at the end of my apprenticeship I decide that I don't want to be a quantity surveyor, I can carry on as a QS for a bit and go to university online. You can do a degree at any time in your life. So I just think don't make sure it's not like you think if you've got to do an apprenticeship in quantity surveying, that it's the only thing you can do. Yes, there's loads of stuff that you can go to project management, building surveying, it's just within F&G. And then when you meet other people in the construction industry, you can find their company does other stuff as well. So a lot of people have left F&G to do more specialist things. So one of them's left F&G to be a specialist. I think it's a steel contractor. So there's loads of different things you can go into from quantity surveying. I would quite like to be driving nothing, living in London, working for Faithful and Gould still, but in the London office. None so far, because I think I've still got the social life that they have. I've got none of the debt, and I've got 3 years experience that they don't have. So none so far.
Thank you. That was an excellent interview, and we wish you the very best with the rest of your apprenticeship.
Thank you very much for having me.
Bye.
Cheers. Bye.